the member does not need to intend to sow discord, but by the practice of subtly and frequently bringing issues that are sensitive to the community, knowing that it is not easy to resolve, and cleverly turning it into a state versus religion issue. These are all very dangerous moves. I actually wonder whether the WP and its leadership are committed to the racial and religious harmony which underpins the security of this country. Do we want to go back to the politics of race and religion of the 1960s, the politics we wanted to avoid when we left Malaysia? If we don't want that, why do we let a member to constantly raise these issues, to stir the community, to tell them you are different, to subtly suggest to them we are not able to address your issues now because the government won't do it?
Mr. Faisal, Madam.
The Minister has not answered my question of example of where I've caused discord and divisiveness. On the issue of what earlier Ministers mentioned about the issue faced by the community is not easy to resolve. Hence, I've been asking persistently and consistently for the government to address the issue. That's the point that I've been making since I was elected, and even I only started to make this point after the after the Suara Mesyuarat report was made public, and I based on that concern voiced in that report as a basis for my point that I bring up in the Parliament.
I have not heard the member also has not heard me. The government does not address this in public forums, in debates, in places like this where sensitive matters can be discussed out of context, emotionally, and sometimes because they're not easy to resolve, because they cannot be quickly resolved, leaves a lingering, unhappy feeling in a community. It may not be our community, it could be any community. And therefore, the approach of the government is to address this within closed doors, within the community, with the community leaders and people who are responsible to carry the message for us and with us. Now, like I mentioned to Mr. Faisal, what is worrying me is not so much about whether he intends to sow discord. The Imam did not intend to say anything to hurt the Christians or the Jews. But the Christians and the Jews, now that it is out in the open, do feel insulted. It is not only our intention that matters. It is our action and how people interpret it. I met some students in Mecca and Medina very recently, and they were unhappy, they were concerned that many people think people who study in Mecca and Medina will have what they call Salafi thinking, not moderate, very extreme. And they say, we don't do all these things. We say all the good things. We tell people to do only the right things as a Muslim. But I ask them, have you ever checked what people think and what people do after what you say, what you teach them? Have you ever gone to the ground to check the impact of what you teach them? As an example, I told them there was a divorce that happened after they got the wife to become very religiously observant, and the wife, because the husband is not so religiously observant, divorced the husband. And what were they doing? Only telling good things. And therefore, as responsible members of this House, I hope you just don't do this as a matter of course, because it's a responsibility to do so, even if it is your right to do so. But do this responsibly, because we have a context. We have a very precious social fabric to preserve. And I ask the Workers' Party and everybody here, respect that, preserve that, because this is something we can leave for our children.